let's bang the drum for the start of the second season in the metro area. And two familiar foes in the Catholic League meet in a playoff opener. Can John Curtis continue its win streak over Brother Martin in our game of the week? It's round 2 of Metairie versus Kenner. East Jefferson seeks a spot in the second round with a victory over Bonneville. And two River Parish rivals open the playoffs, searching for first-round playoff wins at their cribs. Tonight on 4th Down Friday. We start with the first-round matchup in the Division I Select Bracket. 11th seed Jesuit facing 22nd seed Lafayette at the Shrine on Airline. Blue Jays up big in the second half. Taylor Norton and company in the red zone. Gavin Palmisano takes it in for the touchdown. Jesuit building on that lead, and pretty much everything went right for Jesuit tonight except this. A play that ends up getting Lafayette into the red zone. They would eventually punch it in, but Jesuit goes on to win it 45-7. The Blue Jays will travel to 6th seed Turlings Catholic next week. 58 area teams begin the road to the Dome, and all of them hope to be one of 8 to hoist the state championship at the end. What up? Welcome to 4th Down Friday. I'm Ricardo LeCompte. John Curtis knows that feeling 28 times over. Well, 27 officially. And one of those times came after beating Catholic League foe Brother Martin in the Division I Select Final back in 2022. That victory is part of a current 4-game win streak the Patriots have over the Crusaders, and they look to extend that streak in tonight's D1 Select first-round playoff game. Seth Lewis joins us in studio with much more on our 4th Down Friday Game of the Week. Hey, Seth.
Hey, Ricardo. Tonight was just another example of why the Catholic League is arguably the toughest district in the state. John Curtis and Brother Martin coming down to the wire, and just like their regular season meeting, it was the Patriots defense coming through in the clutch.
About a month ago, Curtis won this matchup 17-14, but Brother Martin was the host as the 14 seed. First quarter, Patriots land the first punch. A.J. Smith frees himself like Fantasia on the dive. That's a 35-yard gain, and that leads to a 5-yard score from Jack Corcoran. Curtis up 7-0. Now second quarter, Curtis QB Reggie Johnson on the play fake dials 5, and Jacoby Boudreaux was on the line. That's a 29-yard touchdown, and Curtis leads 14-0. Next drive, Crusaders finally get on the board. Julian Cutter weaves his way into the end zone from 17 yards out, but Brother Martin would trail 21-7 at halftime. Third quarter, John Curtis threatening to take a commanding lead. Johnson keeps, but Trent King strips him like TSA. Crusaders recover and are in business. And Brother Martin cashes in their Chuck E. Cheese ticket. On 4th and 15, Seth Dazzett finds Rex LeBlanc for the 25-yard touchdown. Satyrs trail 21-13. Fourth quarter, Brother Martin now driving to tie it. Alex Diaz gets it, but Hayden Delat forces the huge fumble, and Xavier Brown is Johnny on the spot, recovering it at the 1. Next drive for Brother Martin, another chance to tie it, but Dazzett on 4th down. His pass falls incomplete, turnover on downs. The Crusaders would get one more chance with under 2 minutes to go, but Lane Lacron and the Patriots defense would stand firm. John Curtis advances with a 21-13 victory.
Well, you know, the defense has really played well for us all year, and they've got to continue to do that as our offense continues to get better. Our quarterback is a first-year guy, but he's improving. Reggie's improving from game to game. He threw the ball well tonight, ran the ball well tonight. And we're going to have that duality in order to make a noise in the playoffs.
We put a whole lot into our defense. Since the spring and the summer, we emphasize defense, just playing our best and getting stops on defense.
So next week, Curtis will travel west to face 3-seed Acadiana. Head coach J.T. Curtis says the Rams are always a challenge, but it's a lot better than staying home. In studio, Seth Lewis, Louisiana.
Curtis and Acadiana may finish in an hour and 30 minutes next week because they will just run the ball. All right, Seth. Let's stay at Tad Gormley in the D1 Select Bracket. 9-seed St. Aug and first-year head coach Robert Valdez welcoming in 24-seed Karen Crow. Opening Purple Knights drive. How about a trick play buried deep in the playbook? Vashawn Couillon hits Derek Bennett, who then hits Patrick Robinson wide open for the 38-yard touch. St. Aug up 7-0. Bears trying to answer, but this pass gets picked off by Tyrone Matthew. Purple Knights take over at the 3. Karen Crow turned it over 4 times in the first half. Later in the opening quarter, Bears pin deep. Warren Roberts pressures, and it turns into a pick six for linebacker Tylan Watts, 13-0 St. Aug, and they go on to beat Karen Crow 44-7. The Purple Knights will now face 8-seed St. Thomas More next week. 12-seed McDonough 35 taking on 21-seed Riverdale at Pan Am Stadium tonight. Rebels trailed 21-3 at the half. Ron Eagles on offense to start the third quarter. Jacoby Anderson on the draw. He is a very shifty athlete, slips past the line, heads towards the sidelines, gains about 40, then a couple plays later, McDonough 35 punches it in. They go up 28-3 at that point. The Ron Eagles cruise to a 49-9 win. They'll face 5-seed Rummel next week. 3 teams finished tied atop District 8-5A, and all 3 host first-round playoff games. Hahnville, Terrebonne, and Destrehan earned the 8th, 9th, and 10th seeds respectively in the Division I non-select bracket. The Hahnville Tigers returned to the playoffs after a 1-year absence. The Tigers opening the playoffs against another 8-5A team in HL Bourgeois. Hahnville on the board first. Jamon Preston fights his way from 3 yards out. Tigers take an early 7-0 lead. But the Braves answer. Connor Wallace takes a shot deep, hits Kadar Mitchell. He's wide open. 33-yard pitch and catch. HL Bourgeois took the lead 13-7 in the second quarter. But Bennett Knocking gets the handoff right up the gut. No one touches him. 52 yards to the crib. Hahnville goes back in front 14-13. The Tigers draw 24-seed Chalmette after they beat HL Bourgeois 49-39. The Owls upset Terrebonne tonight. 9 miles across the river, 10th seed Destrehan hosting 23-seed Ouachita Parish. Jackson Fields, he's healthy and he's ready to go for this playoff run for Destrehan. Hooks up with Jamari Mack for an 11-yard touchdown. Destrehan goes up 23-6 in the third quarter. Ouachita Parish not going away. Montrell Connor calls his own number, gets to the outside, and scores on the 9-yard touchdown run. So it's only a 23-12 Destrehan lead in the third quarter. But this offense for the Wildcats can be very potent behind Jackson Fields. He hooks up with Mack again, 7-yard touchdown. Destrehan goes up 30-12 at that point, and they go on to win by that final score. The Wildcats play Northwood Shreveport in round 2. Up next, we check in on the Division III and Division IV select brackets. De La Salle and Fisher tangle, and the top running back in the state tries to lead his school to its first ever Prep Classic. Highlights ahead, but first round playoff scores from across the metro area. De La Salle started the season slow with a very challenging non-district schedule. However, the Cavaliers got things back on track and finished the season winning 4 of its last 5. That one loss came against Kennedy, a top 8 seed in the Division II select bracket. The Cavs could be a dangerous 14 seed in the Division III select bracket. They start the postseason tonight against 19 seed Fisher at Haas Memphis. Crusaders wasting no time. Opening drive, Evan Arsenault finds Eamon Williams on the screen, 10 yards touchdown. De La Salle 7-up. Next possession, Arsenault hits Giovanni Sanchez in the flats. He just struts right in, 13-yard strike. Cavs miss the extra point, so it's 13-0. Cavaliers not done. Next drive, Arsenault to Sanchez again, this time for 25 yards. Evan Arsenault locked in. He threw 4 touchdown passes in the first quarter alone. De La Salle blanks Fisher 48-zip. The Cavs get 3-seed Calvary Baptist next week. The state's #1 back, Harlem Berry and St. Martin's begin the D4 select playoffs against 24-seed Delhi Charter at Tony Porter Field. The 9th seed Saints starting off fast. And who else would get it but Harlem Berry? He's able to slip tackles, get away from a couple of defenders. He's been doing this all year long, and he finds pay dirt. 7-0 St. Martin's. Saints again in the red zone later in the first half. Ashton Oliver, the quarterback for St. Martin's, decides he's going to call his own number. He's pretty athletic as well. He goes up and over to give the Saints a 2-score lead. Saints on the move again. Oliver has all day, finds Cooler Helmke. Big chunk play behind that Delhi Charter secondary. That would set up this. Harlem Berry out of the Wildcat. Keeps it himself and scores easily. St. Martin's wins 55-36. The Saints will travel to 8-seed St. Edmund in round number 2. Just one playoff game in the Metro on Saturday. Livingston Collegiate and Frederick Douglass play at Pan Am Stadium at 5 o'clock in the Division II Select first round game. The top seeds enjoyed a week off. They will all play next week. 4 hail from the Metro area. You've got Edna Carr, Shaw, St. James, and Franklinton. All of them aiming for a spot in the Prep Classic in a couple of weeks. They just have to keep on winning to get to the Caesars Superdome. We're out of time. Thanks for joining us. We'll see you next Friday night for 4th Down Friday.